going on, y'all? Corpus Christi Originals back at it again, coming to you live from the Produce Streamlabs studio, downtown Corpus Christi, Texas. Actually, in Dusty's spot, who is our guest today. What's going on, Dusty?
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
How's it feel? Be on the other side.
Shorter.
Right on.
No, it's good, man. It's good. I'm glad to be here. Happy to be here.
So we got IH5, Wicked Red
Oh,
under the same
shit.
roof, bro. Breaking bread together.
Here we are, man. Yes,
It only
sir.
took 30 years.
Yeah, man. You know, it's one of those things. It's just a matter of time. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, dude. Man, that's awesome. I like to hear about. So, what do you mean, matter of time? Like, it's just gonna happen, or?
Well, you know, like when two people have similar visions and goals, I think that, you know, it's only a matter of time before you cross paths again, you know, especially at that age. We're, like 18, 19 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And both of us were in these projects that kind of like, you know, they had some weight, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we were just gigging like here and there or whatever. So I think like, especially at that time, to have like success, you know,
Yeah.
and such a young like band, and the way we kind of just threw them both together, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was just kind of one of those.
Yeah, so like we were trying to get signed, right?
Yeah, I think that's the ultimate
something
goal.
made,
Like
yeah.
what, as a person that does music, I mean, I think that's one of the goals, is just like, let's get signed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right on.
But you know, I mean, at that time, that was the goal. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But you know,
Yeah, that was the goal, definitely, man. And then we had beef with each other, right? Which I don't even know why. I just know that, okay, we don't like them, they don't like us. That's where it's at. You know what I mean?
I think that it was more so y'all.
Yeah, okay.
Because we were like, you know, we were Cal Allen dudes, and we were just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And we were used to people kind of like hating on us a lot. You know, I mean, we're fucking white boy rappers and shit.
Right,
you know what I mean? And
Well, y'all were good, dude.
and it was good, but you know, we were kind of used to it. But when you guys came along, like, we really didn't even know until like later that it was like, oh shit, they kind of do have beef with us. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, well, I mean, it was just, you know, I don't think it was more like, now looking back, I feel like it was more kind of just like, you know, like, what is it? Like, just like teen angst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like nowadays, I really like finding people that do similar things that
Yeah.
what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm more attracted to that. I think as a kid, you're trying to find your individuality, and like, you know, you're trying to do this and that. And then, but now I'm like, well, dude, where are the guys that make cumbia beats, or where's the
Yeah, man.
sample diggers and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So
So you're always trying to find somebody to collab with.
yeah, I mean, just, or learn off of, or, you know, whatever, man, just like, you know, just kind of like do things in similar veins, you know?
Yeah, right on, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a lot. I think we were avoiding each other, like you were saying at that time. And I was like, I don't even know why we hate the dudes, but we hate them. You know what I mean? Which is dumb now we think about it. I was actually talking
Yeah.
to Maya about it. Like nowadays, they won't even tell you that you hate you. Just kind of, they befriend you, but they hate you under.
I'll subtweet.
Yeah, whatever that is.
I'll subtweet you.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I was researching you a lot, and then I came upon your mother and your father's obituary. I was like,
Oh crap.
dude,
Okay.
your dad, bro. Oh my God, shout out to your pops, man. Dude, for real. HEB truck drivers are still to this day respected, bro.
Yeah, they're some of the best on the road, man, and
Yes.
their whole system, the way it's worked out, is like really good for their employees. So I think that's why a lot of those guys are so good. You know what I mean? Because the company is so good to their people.
They had these contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
But even just looking at all the stuff that he did, I was like, damn, this dude did this. Like he was in the Marine Corps, Family Ranch in Ramirez.
Yeah.
Man, all kinds of stuff, bro.
Yeah, he was a great dude, man. He achieved a lot with what he did, and he was also like paralyzed from the neck down since he was like probably like 35 years old, you know.
And you were like, what?
I was like 5 when that happened.
So so how did that affect you? I mean, your mom was taking care of him, right?
Yeah, she became this like caregiver. You know, I think I was just so young that I never really like understood what was really happening, and my parents were kind of just like really good at like sheltering away the problems that they were having to us. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of what we just, it was just normal to me and my little brother. My older brother, you know, of course, he was like 13, 14. So, you know, naturally he was, you know, kind of, it affected him a lot more than it affected us, you know. But looking back, you know, I really do you know, of course I wish that my dad was up and around and stuff like that, but I am kind of thankful that since he was at home so much, we got to spend so much time together, and he got to teach me so much more about other things in life than like throwing the ball and all that type of shit, you know what I mean? But he was a pretty wise dude, man. I mean, he had been through a lot, so.
So a lot of the stuff that he taught you, do you find yourself doing that today?
Yeah, man. I mean, just, you know, the like don't give up kind of mentality, and just kind of like order to things and shit like that, you know, and like he kind of like I definitely have a lot of his traits. I mean, we do like overdo a lot of things, or make sure that like whenever he was like building his home, he made sure that all these things were in place and it was just like super solid, and like, you know, all these weird things, like he had a bunker and all this kind of stuff. but like, you know, like and so I think that way as well. Like that's normal to me. So I'm kind of like, when we're building this place, it's kind of like all these things, these little details that we had put in place that were kind of like, do you really need to do that? Well, yeah, I mean, because later on we could run, you know, cables all through the walls and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's dope, man. Wow, that's awesome. So I always resort to like parents. What's going on, y'all? Anthony Diaz. Yeah, he's a ex-Marine Corps.
Hoorah.
Yeah.
My dad was a Marine, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
El Colombiano. That's my homie.
Yeah, what's going on? On Facebook. Appreciate you guys joining. We got some people on TikTok as well. Cali Corral. What the hell? Can't read it. It's kind of small over there. Yeah, man. Tell him it's collab.
Dusty recorded me when I was 16.
Nice. Oh, we got
Live.
Simplify.
There we go.
How's it
Yeah,
going?
we're already on.
You want to come in? You want to come in? You can join if you want.
Oh,
Okay.
no, you're good. You're good. See, that's how it goes around here.
All right, yeah. No.
It's a worked wheel, you know, but like that's the way it works. Like there's people working, they're shooting a commercial outside, they need something. I mean, we just got to keep going.
It's cool, bro. Yeah, no, you give the opportunity for people to like be innovative.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool that you're doing down here.
Yeah, man. We're trying to
I know
create
it's here,
as much
man.
as possible.
That's good. Why is that? I mean,
just like I don't know. A lot of people like gave me like chances when I was young, you know what I mean? And like I feel like it's like I need to do these things anyway. If like some of these guys that are younger can come in and like learn some stuff and we can both benefit, then, you know, why not? You know what I mean? Like, and so that's kind of how it's been here. Produce has always been kind of like a revolving door of artists and DJs and producers and stuff like that. And people have come through here that have done a lot of great things, you know, but it's not, it's never like a, you know, closed door session, you know what I mean? Even when it is like how it is right now, you know, it's like Andre will come in here or somebody will come in here and make a, hey, what's up? Or
yeah, that's amazing, dude. So do a lot of people get misconceptions about you regarding that type of stuff, or?
I don't know. I think like what do you mean? Like, what does that mean?
Is there some things that people get wrong about you?
You know, man, I stay pretty sheltered, man. I'm not gonna lie. I stay around this neighborhood like 80% of the week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 90% of the week. I mean, Maya will tell you.
Yeah.
I don't really leave much, and I kind of like mind my own business, and I think that's kind of worked in my favor because I don't necessarily have like a lot of people hating on me and shit like that. Of course, you know, when people have different opinions on music and stuff like that, like it's like, you know, but I don't really take that to heart because I know how that goes, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, if they do, I don't know about it. You know what I mean? And I kind of like to keep it like that too.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Just talking to you and just you coming in and out here is like, you ain't got time to worry about that stuff.
I mean, it's just, you know, it's just one of those things, man.
Right on, man. So speaking of music, we were talking, Maya and I were talking about in the last episode, we were talking about the AB Quintanilla thingy. What do you think about that?
I mean, man, honestly, like when the VIP is right up there up front and they're all, you know, they paid for those seats, and a lot of them have wine on their tables, and they're there with their dates and stuff like that. Like they don't want to get up and dance, you know.
Crazy.
So I feel like it was a logistics error. Like they should have put that VIP behind the dance floor raised so they could see the artist perfectly, and the dance floor could be going crazy and the artist can be going crazy. You know what I mean? So, and man, I mean, after so many hits and so many years of doing that stuff and putting up with it, I'd imagine that it gets a little, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've been there, you know, where the crowd sucks, you know, and it's just like, dude, it's really frustrating, you know what I'm saying? So for you to bite your tongue for so many years and then like, you know what, fuck this.
Wow, that's crazy, bro. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
My
like,
God, yeah. And
so I kind of, I mean, it's not that I agree with him. I do agree with him. I think it was a logistical error, and of course he could have avoided it by not saying it. But man, at the same time, like, bro, had a point, man. You know what I mean?
interesting, bro. Wow.
It's like, but you gotta have. There's two sides to that story. You know, the VIP paid for their seats. They wanted to sit down and they wanted to chill, and that's great. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's a concert, man. It's a music show. Like people want to. The artist is expecting to go out there and kill it, bro. It's AB, bro. That's like his backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course they were gonna dance, and I'm sure that the audience was dancing. You know what I'm saying? Like other people out there, but just that front row, man. To have that whole front row, like. Man, it's frustrating. You know? It's really hard to deal with. And trust me, like in the back of my mind, I've cussed out a lot of crowds. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got the balls to say anything, though. You know what I'm saying? But to all you people out there, you sitting down, you suck.
I know, right? Wow, that's crazy, bro. He brought the Cowboys in too. I was like, oh.
I mean, hey man, the man was frustrated.
Yeah,
bro.
right,
the man was frustrated.
Yeah, right, dude. That's a cool outlook, man. Yeah, for sure. Wow. And you as a DJ, you got to read the room. You got to read what's going on, and you can't
read
just
the room. Yeah.
So you can't just have a mix and just boom, 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 damn, we're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your mine? And I were talking about. So what's your go-to when DJing?
Well, I like, you know, when my whole time DJing growing up was like, I'm the DJ at the club and I play for 4 hours or like whatever. Right. And so I used to like be really open format, that kind of, where I'd play like all kinds of different things. So like I was lucky enough to play at places where they would kind of like let me program my own style or whatever. And, I'd kind of like go by, you know, it's early, it's 9 o'clock. I'm not going to come out here and kill it. You know what I'm saying? So like play some reggae shit or play some early cumbia or some like weird stuff, hip hop. And then, you know, kind of like read the room, you know what I mean? Like exactly what you're saying. Like just kind of play to the crowd. And by 12 o'clock, everybody's like already getting drunk. By 1 o'clock, everybody's slammed. So you can play whatever you want. And then like 1 to 2, you just kind of like kill it. And then, you know what I mean? But
amazing.
But doing that for so many years like gave me an outlook as where now when I do it for an hour, like at my show, it's just kind of like flawless. I don't even have to think about it anymore. You know.
Corpus Christi Horror Club says, "How does anyone sit down during the El Dusty set?" That's crazy.
Well, if they're VIPs right in front of me,
Dang.
I might feel it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So, man, you've obviously been doing it for a long time. And then, so you were with Universal, and then I guess you didn't sign another contract to continue on.
Yeah.
So
I got released.
Released.
Yeah. I got my release. Because what happens is I fulfilled my contract. I did all the songs and I did all the singles and all my things. And then they were going to re-sign me because our contract was going to expire, you know? Like, it's just like, I mean, really, like, a lot of people don't finish their contracts, but you sign this crazy ass contract that like you'll never finish. You know what I mean? But the one that I had wasn't necessarily like the best for both parties. None of us were. It was nobody that was gonna win. It was just a thing that was just gonna happen, and it was kind of good for me in a way. But in a way, it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like, where is all this at? You know what I'm saying? But
kind of like, so what do you? So you just decided like no more?
Well, I just didn't think that the offer was like,
okay,
like, cause dude, being signed, like it's a lot. Like you got to run every single thing through like a bunch of people. And I'm kind of like an independent dude, and I'm down here in Corpus where all my peers and all my workers were in LA and like in Miami. And so I kind of work at my own pace, but also like I wanted to release stuff a lot, you know, and it would have to go through this like chain of command that was just like, well, this guy hasn't heard it, and this guy doesn't think this, and this guy thinks that, and it's just like, man, I'm tired of this shit, you know what I mean? And like, and so whenever they asked to re-sign me, I just said, the deal was cool, the money was fine, whatever, but it just didn't make enough sense for me to be like, you know what, let me just go through this all over again for the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was a very big decision for me because it like, you know, being signed like changed my life, you know, but also, you know what I mean? Like it's, you know, I'm not 19 years old anymore or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
When you're done, bro.
When I was done with that, I definitely ain't done. I feel busier than ever, but you know, I was done with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
So you're now basically taking on the role that everybody had there yourself.
Yes.
As an indie artist.
Yes. And that role is not easy, but I mean, you know, like at least it's at my own pace.
Yeah,
you know?
right on. That's cool. So you're not only doing that, you got this right here, what we're doing, and this awesome studio, man. And you have produced studios. You got the bar coming out.
Yeah.
Right. You got all that stuff. That's just part of all the stuff that you're doing, bro.
Well, I mean, that takes up you know, right now the OK Hi-Fi is a bar that we're opening next door, but that pretty much takes all my time right now. And fighting barflies.
Been in here
and fighting barflies. But no, like that takes up a lot of time. You know, there's a lot of we're building it, and we're kind of like, you know, I like to like wire stuff myself and do shit myself sometimes, and not the hard shit, you know, but like the fun stuff, the turntables and all that.
Yeah, right on.
but you know, it's just taking up a lot of time, but it's about to open next Thursday. We're gonna soft open, or next Friday. I'm sorry, we're gonna soft open, and it should be good, man. I want to see what kind of people are gonna show up over here because it's like a you know, DJ lounge. You know what I mean?
There was an older lady that was walking by. She was talking about it opening.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, definitely. I think she lives around here. She walks her dog or whatever. She's like, I can't wait till it opens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was cool.
Right on. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know who the regulars are gonna be. Like, you know, like what's that gonna be like?
Well, she was saying, she was like, yeah, it seems like a thing where you could do after you get off work, you come and chill. Like,
that's exactly the mind frame.
No, that's what. Bro, is that because you're downtown? I mean,
kind of like I feel like, you know, like I don't go to work 9 to 5 every day, but I feel like in my brain where it's like if I had a 9 to 5, I would go to work at 9 and like get out at 9 and then like or 5 and then be like, you know what, I want to hit the bar and it's downtown. And here's the bar, like have a drink and then go home and, you know. So
when you have these ideas, that makes me. I'm sorry, man. I get really into the conversation. That makes me think. So when you have these ideas, before you start it, you obviously have this a thought process before you bring it out, right? So you don't just necessarily, okay, I got this idea, let's do it. Yeah, you think it through, right?
Yeah, man. We've had so many different things that we're like, oh, we're gonna do this, but it's just, you know, it fizzles out. But like, I like to like write things down, or like I have all these glass like. And I just started writing on them all the time, and we would just put goals like throughout. Cool. Write the whole year out of like things we can do, and then it kind of just like gives you kind of like a purpose of like where, you know, the rollout and the order of things that are gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And that I kind of take that like music kind of rollout technique and I apply it to like different things like the bar. Like, yo, we're gonna build the bar, we're gonna build hype, we're gonna do all this kind of stuff. and that's, you know, and then you got the drop date, you know what I mean, and so you put it out and you hope for the best.
So you obviously got a team of people.
Oh yeah.
How do you find yourself, I guess, you know, coming upon that?
I think like I mean, just word of mouth, you know, like and the scene in Corpus is kind of, I mean, it's very big now, but it's been smaller, and I've grown with the scene as well. But like the art scene is like, it's like, you know, everybody kind of knows each other, or everybody's like heard of somebody or whatever. But eventually everybody kind of walks in here and just to at least like figure like to do some things or record something or whatever, or just meet up and just talk and chop it up, you know, like I love doing that. But you know, like Chris, I found Chris, I heard about him like doing his like his productions, like Yikes and stuff like that. And I started talking to him, and I felt like, dude, this guy like really has a similar outlook on things. And I would invite him over. I'd be like, hey, if you want to come to produce and just kind of, you know, work out of here for, you know what I mean? Just come through or whatever. And so we started talking about stuff, and then I saw that he was a really good like producer, as far as like he could organize things and follow through with them logistically. He was like good at like arranging things, because that's what he was doing with his sets, like directing and producing his own sets. And I saw his stuff, and I thought it was really tight, you know. So I invited him over. Now he's running the bodega. He's basically the manager of Produce. You know, he introduced me to Maya, and like all their friends are just kind of like, it's exactly the way me and my friends were, you know, 10, 15 years ago, where we were just young and like trying to do stuff and just trying to make it happen. We didn't, you know, we built Produce. We didn't have like a Produce, you know what I mean? But like, I just want it to be kind of like, this isn't a closed door. It's not just like a private place, but also like you can come and like learn and work, and like we can all like kind of like make money.
That's
you know
cool.
what I'm saying?
I was talking to him earlier, and he was working here, well, kind of like freelancing, and then you hired him, and then he was trying to figure out why you didn't ask him to work, because you were looking for somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know why, but I just mentioned to him, oh, you mentioned that he was too busy or whatever.
Yeah. I don't like to like delegate too much to too many people. Like if we have people, then I like to like say, hey, look, let this person do this, let this person rest while this person's doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't want to, you know, I know Chris is able to like do stuff, a lot of different shit, but I do think that like everybody needs a little time to like relax, you know what I'm saying? So
gotta think about the people that work.
He's got a whole lot on his plate, dude. Like he's going to school, he's doing all kinds of stuff. He's got a lot.
Man, that's cool of you to help to see that in your workers, man. That's awesome. Hype Bike, right down the street. What's up? Will you be creating your own Kubia Awards show?
Maybe.
Dusty continues to build Corpus Christi. Yeah, bro. What's up? So, I mean, you've been building down here for a while, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why? Like, what's going on?
Well, I've always worked downtown. Well, I used to have a studio at Nueces Lofts back before it was Nueces Lofts.
Oh, right on.
It was called the Nueces Building, but me and a couple of friends like we had rented an office, and it had a bunch of different little rooms in it, and we all kind of like built studios in there, and we would hang out, and like, you know, a bunch of people would come through there all the time, and it was just cool, you know what I mean? Like, and it was kind of like Produce, but it was like way smaller, and the scene was way different. But it was back whenever like Stingers and all that stuff was around, so like downtown would get like crazy on the weekends, but during the week it was like super dead. And then it just, everything kind of died, and we found like we stayed in Nueces Lost for a long time. And then I found like I you know, stopped working down here for a couple of years, and then I came back in 2008 or 2009 when we found Produce, and we started renting it, and then eventually, you know, buying the building and stuff like that. So it's how
do you feel about that?
Good, man. I like real estate. I like that game, man. You know, when I was younger and my vision wasn't as broad, I used to just be like, man, I'm just gonna end up being some real estate guy. Wow, and like now I'm like, I want to be a real estate guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I want that shit. Yeah, man. I'm partners in the building next door. I own the building behind it, the vault building. And it's me and my brothers, you know, we're a team, we're a partnership. Yeah. And I'm kind of like the dude who manages all of our properties and all of our things. So, it's pretty cool. And you know what I'm saying?
That's something you learned from your dad, probably.
Yeah. My dad was one of those ones that could just like see something and, know that it had like a value later on, you know. He when he got hurt, he had a little settlement or whatever, and then he went out and bought all this land, and one of those pieces of land was like some acres in Calallen where it's like up against Hazel Baysmore, which is like a national park. And then on the other side, it's like the high school.
Wow.
So like he'll never have neighbors, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, dude, how did you think about this shit?
Yeah, dope, man. That's awesome, bro. Yeah, so wow, that's crazy. So do you think about your dad often, man?
All the time, man.
Damn,
Oh yeah.
that dude-
Oh yeah. That's my pops, man. He was like, you know, I mean, dude, like we were really tight, you know. He was like, especially, you know, my mom passed away in 2013, and then he lived till 2017, and during that time I would just spend a lot of time with him, and he became like a homie, you know what I mean? Like he really was like a human at that point, you know. It was like I really got to get to know him, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the parent filter was off, you know. He recognized me as a man, and it was just like, it was cool to spend those last couple of years with him like that.
You mentioned the ranch. I was talking with my uncle Robert, and he would go hunting with Uncle Matt.
Oh, okay.
At the ranch.
Oh shit.
I was like, hey, Uncle Robert, what do I ask Dusty? He saw. Shout out to him. But
yeah, man. There's a lot of those people have been out there for years, and there's some hunters out there that we have that are, you know, they take good care of it. And it's a badass ranch, man. It's fun.
That's what's up. That's awesome. Do you still go hunting? Do you hunt?
I don't hunt. I like to go out there and chill, and I know how to hunt. When I was young, my dad and my uncles, I did the whole thing, man. I skinned plenty of javelinas and plenty of deer and rabbits and all kinds of shit, and I've skinned it and I've killed it and I've eaten it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm a changed man, you know what I mean? I'm a Carolina Wildcat by heart, but I'm a changed man, you know.
Yeah,
I don't do that no more. But you know, I learned how to do a lot of things growing up from my pops like that. You know, growing up, we'd go to the ranch every weekend pretty much, and go fill feeders and you know, do the whole thing. And just just got to learn all that lifestyle. He taught us about guns, when I was really little. Yeah. How to handle them, how to take them apart, clean them. I'm a great shot, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, you know?
He was some kind of shooter in the Marine Corps or something like that.
Well, I mean, he was just, I don't know if he wasn't like a sniper or nothing like that.
What would he say today? Now that you've seen what you're doing, all this stuff.
I think he'd be proud, man. I mean, me and him worked together a lot when he was alive. He started, you know, he still had business, you know, and so I would help him with a lot of things. And I mean, we always had plans of doing stuff, you know, getting these old buildings and doing things with them and stuff like that. And so I think that he would dig it. He used to come out here and roll around and check it out, and he was just like, man, this is really cool, you know. And my mom and dad both saw it produce, not the way it's fixed up now, but you know, they both, we had, you know, me and my dad owned the building before he passed away. And so, you know, he's been here and all that, but he never got to see it fixed up like this, but I'm sure he'd be
Anthony Diaz, all Marines are grunts first.
That was definitely his name, ex-grunt. That's it.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, Anthony Diaz. He's a podcaster also. Which man? So how did you feel when I first shout out? I shot you a message. Hey, I want to do the book these days for the podcast. How'd you feel about that?
I was cool. I thought it was awesome, man. I've been trying to get people in here to kind of you know, we did our own podcast, Dusty Crates, for a long time, and really at first it was kind of well, let's get together and do a production. Okay, so now let's try to get people to come and record podcasts here. I didn't want it necessarily to be this is the Dusty Crate set. It's just this is a produced Streamlab set, and you can do whatever. You can have it like this, or you can pull down the green screen and kind of do whatever. Yeah. But I wanted it to be a podcast room where people could feel comfortable, and if a DJ wanted to come and do a DJ set, we got a DJ set.
Nice.
But also, it's rigged up to where we can just have a regular podcast, and you know, you guys come in here and just record it and pump it out, you know, where it was easy enough to do. So that was kind of the reason to sort of do Dusty Crates. But when you asked, I was just let's do it. That's cool as hell. Hell yeah. So
you knew podcasts were going to be a good thing? People were going to want to do that?
A lot of people had asked me if they could record podcasts here, in the studio, you know, hey man, can we record
the audio version?
Yeah, the audio version. But I was dude, you know, I need a place to practice. I also, you know, wanted to do podcasting and wanted to get into that kind of stuff, and and then COVID came and all that kind of shit. So it was like, oh man, we can like reinvent the wheel now,
Wow,
I want to, I eventually, well, if I, like whenever I stop touring and stuff like that, which is like, it's very tiring, like just being here, kind of like being able to like, do my own thing, express myself or practice or DJ online and things like that. Those are like important to me. So I think that like having a place like this is like, it's like a dream, you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of touring, man, how does that have an effect on your mental health, physical health, and how do you find yourself, I guess, dealing with it, or working on it, you know what I mean?
Well, it definitely affects me. I'm getting older, and like, when I was younger, I was able to just like be on the road 7 days a week and it wouldn't do anything. We could drive wherever. Yeah. But now, it's definitely caught up, and it's like but it's also like a big pressure thing, you know what I'm saying? Like you got expectations to like play these type of shows and like play this many shows, you know what I'm saying? Like I've gone years where it's like I had a show like every single weekend multiple times. Crazy. And it's just like, I forget that like the average dude doesn't really do that, you know what I'm saying? Like so like I'm grateful for like the things that I've got to experience, you know what I mean? Like I've already done a lot of that shit. Yeah. I'm kind of like, all right, now how can I make as much money but from here? You know what I mean? Bro. And not have to like go. I do like traveling and I do love to be on tour. I love doing shows. Like I'm doing shows this weekend and all, they're starting to pile up like here over the summer. But, if I ain't gonna lie, if I could just tour in Texas and I could be good, that would be amazing.
You gonna move to LA?
I don't think I'll ever move to LA, but I definitely work out there a lot, and I wouldn't mind having a place out there, just to go and work, for weeks at a time. And I still like going out. I love LA, man. I love LA like cool. A lot, but I just I have so much going on here, and like I love like the things that we've built and stuff like that. But don't get me wrong, I definitely get stir crazy, but luckily I get to travel and see other spots and then come home.
What's your favorite city to DJ?
Man, honestly, Chicago is one of the best cities to DJ at because there's a lot, what I do, for like cumbia and EDM and shit like that. Like it's kind of like house music began in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? And so like I don't know what it is about it, but the people there like really respond to music of all kinds. It's not like whenever they go to see you, they expect you to play this or whatever. You can read the crowd and go with the crowd, and they, you don't know where you're going to end up, but they know about dance music out there, and they know how to dance to it and know how to like be in a place where they're going to play nothing but dance music, you know?
Wow, amazing.
And so I think that open-mindedness of like having house as like a part of the lifestyle since you're born, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like it's just cooler. So they just accept a lot more different things over there. I love playing in San Antonio. I love playing in Houston. I love playing in LA. Everywhere, man. I mean, I couldn't really tell you I have like a favorite spot to play, but I love Chicago is definitely like dope as fuck.
So yeah, we got Gabriel.
And then Corpus, man. I mean, Corpus is the shit, you know?
You
like,
have to mention.
I have to mention Corpus, like, yes, for sure. But like, hey man, sometimes the crowd don't want to see me. No, I'm just joking. Corpus is crazy because you forget how big it is. Like it's like everybody thinks it's like a small town. It's a small town. It is. It's a small city, but like there's times when like you get so caught up in like your own shit that like you forget that like how big it is. Like I played like over on the south side one time, and this dude, I drop music like every couple of months or now every month, but he was just like, hey man, he's like, haven't heard any, like you haven't put out music in a long time. And I was like, damn. I was like, actually, I just dropped something last week. I didn't say that, you know what I mean? But I was just like, damn.
In the marketing
but see, I'm lacking in marketing, bro. But the South Side, it's like a whole other world. You know what I mean? Like they don't know about us people down here in downtown in the trenches.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Which HEB do you shop at, bro?
I go to HEB on Roberts, bub.
Oh.
Like on Robert and
Alameda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gucci bee.
The guy.
We got the best wines and cheeses in
Oh,
all town. We'll take on the Super HEB anytime, any place.
Gotcha. But if you want good Mexican spices, you go to Port and Tarleton.
You gotta you gotta go to Port and Tarleton. You know, the HEB on Robert is kind of like that middle ground of like
Cool.
the west side and the east side. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
sure.
like, all right.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Wow, man, you mentioned Anthony Diaz was saying that Chicago was the birthplace of jazz, urban blues, and modern jazz. So when you're DJing there, do you do strictly the cumbia stuff, and then somehow you end up like in stuff that's not cumbia?
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of Mexicans there.
Okay,
you know what
okay.
I'm saying? So like playing cumbia full set is like okay. But the last time I played there, I did go into like a lot of like house music just
Cool.
because I felt like it was appropriate, you know?
Yeah, right.
And they dug it, you know, and then I go back into cumbia or play songs that sample cumbia and with house or whatever. But like, yeah, like the responses are always cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you're trying to drop on every month a track every month.
Yeah.
Are you trying to drop it more, or do you feel like you have to drop it every month? How do you approach that?
Well, I've been sitting on so much music for so long that it's kind of like, all right, these songs I have to get out like right now. So like that's what I kind of did is I scheduled 12 songs to be released every month, but then I've got songs that are like my album or like my EP or like songs that I'm like really want to work and like focus on like with maybe a video or something like that. Those are songs that I also have that are scheduled throughout the year, but they like I'll still drop that ID and then that'll drop and then I'll drop a single or a video or whatever and not maybe not to the next song, to that song, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my plan for the next year is just like drop a song for every month and then in between there sprinkle some singles and maybe an album or whatever. I mean, I always say that I'm working on an album, but it's just kind of like working on tracks that are similar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's mostly just to get it out because you have music and not some more.
Yeah, I mean, I hate sitting on stuff, you know, for so long. And like me as a beat maker, it's natural for me to like stack up on beats and then shop them, you know? So like that's always been my approach is like, let me make a whole bunch of beats and then I'll see if people, you know, can
shop them like,
on them.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Either shop them to people for them to use or for me to use, you know, and for me to get them to do vocals on my song or, you know, collaborate on the beat or whatever, you know?
So it's more for, well, I guess it's for both, like you're saying.
It's like a library, you know what I'm saying?
okay.
It's like a locker full of goodies. Open it up and here's like 50 beats. What kind of beat do you look for? Oh, you want this? I got
What
this.
kind do you want? Like that dude from Coming to America?
Yeah, he's like,
want some toothbrushes?
I got
man?
some real fly dental hygiene products.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So you're trying to figure out who Pink Plantain is on
Oh yeah,
That's me, bro.
Not.
Nah, just kidding.
I was like, wait a minute.
Nah.
All of a sudden, I like really got. I was like, wait a minute. The mystery unfolds.
Mystery unfolds. It's funny, bro. Yeah, your podcast was cool, man. I was watching your. I think Johnny Hotcakes was the one that I watched like 1.5 times. Yeah,
right on.
Yeah, because y'all
Got
have a
that
cool
replay.
chemistry. Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, dude, I've known that guy forever, man. We go back way back, probably like 96, 95. We met in Cal Allen. You know, he was sort of an outcast punk rock dude, and I was kind of just like this weird hip hop guy.
Yeah, no, he was saying you said he was mentioning you doing graffiti,
Yeah.
and you said you were like I introduced it to Cal Allen.
Well, my brother did, but yeah, definitely my family brought a lot of bad stuff to Cal Allen. I'm just joking. But yeah, I definitely got busted for doing graffiti a couple of times at school, and you know, there in 5 Points a bunch of times. So I had, you know.
So how do you like the way the dreads are coming out?
They're good, man. Actually, I might cut them off tonight. That's funny that you ask. Yeah.
Seriously, wow.
Yeah, man, you know, every summer I'm like, all right, why do I have these? You know what I mean? So who knows what the future holds? But
Yeah.
I get antsy and like I'll grow them out. I've had them. This is like my second or third time. You know, I'll grow them out and then like I'm like, all right, I want to cut them off. And then I cut them off, and then like, I grow them out again. And it's like have them for a couple of years, and it's just like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just kind of want to change things up. I think like with this next album, I'm gonna like change up a couple of things, like a little rebrand. You know what I mean? And
that's interesting, man. So
I think have my hair has a lot to do with it.
Seriously,
you become that person. It's like, okay, I'm the guy with dreads. Like everywhere I go, and it's kind of like, I don't know. I think I'm over it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So thoughts on the Corpus scene? I think did we touch on that? What are your thoughts?
Corpus scene is crazy, man. It's always had like a really nice music scene. People stick together. We experienced it ourselves. Like we played every venue and every show, and opened up for every band and all those kinds of things. It's really cool, and now that people are starting to be able to like run their own businesses online and stuff like that, like it's really growing, and a lot of these people have their own studios or they produce for people out of town, and like it's just great, you know what I mean? Like there's so many resources online that like it's dumb not to use. And I think that a lot of people in Corpus have caught up. These young guys are like really smart, getting big on TikTok and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like, I mean, it's just a matter of time,
So what advice would you give emerging artists who are navigating the music industry?
Well, I say this quite a bit, but I've said like, don't get married to the beat, right? That means like, what that means is like, don't sit on shit forever. Like just get it out, because your next beat is going to be way better than this beat that you just made.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And put things out, like get that stuff out of your hard drive. And also just like, don't get like in that demo mode where it's like, oh, here's the demo. And you just like, that's like, it's called like demo-itis or something like that, where it's like you keep hearing the demo, and then when the engineer gives you the mixed and master version, you're like, I don't like this. And it's like, well, dude, you listened to the demo like 100 million times because you couldn't stop listening to your own voice.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? And
so keep putting out music. That's what you're saying.
Keep putting out music. Yeah. Don't get married to the beat. Just like, it's it.
What do you think about that, Maya? You're over there chuckling.
It's real. I've seen Maya's hard drive. There's a lot of fucking songs in there that need to be out.
Bro, what's going on? You're lagging.
All kinds of genres too.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Release the Kraken, exactly. Yes.
Release the Kraken.
J-Fab.
Wow.
Shout out.
So this type of advice is, shout out to DJ Fab. Do you have I guess a favorite DJ, or is that a bad question to ask?
Nah, man. I love all music. I love all kinds of DJs. I think my favorite DJ producer is Armin van Helden. He's a house DJ. He's like a remix, sampled, chop DJ that like he takes like a hip hop approach to like dance music, and I like to say that that's what I do as well, you know. But his songs are just sick, you know. He's well, I mean, he's like a guy from New York, you know what I mean? Like he's from here. I think he's like from another country, but I think he's a US guy. Yeah. But he released an album back in the day where it was like all hip hop songs, all hip hop chopped up samples, but then like everything he was famous for was like a house song. Crazy. You know what I mean?
So the advice that you're giving the artists, like it's for them like to succeed as a musician in the music industry, or like because most of them are trying to get signed, like we were talking earlier, right? Or make it or whatever. Is that the type? I
mean, if you're trying to get signed, and I mean, the only way to get signed and the only way to get anywhere in the music industry is to put shit out, you know? No A&R or no like fan is going to hear it if it's not on Spotify. Right. You know what I'm saying? So put it out, you know? That's the only thing I can say. I mean, if you want advice on how to get signed and all that stuff, you can subscribe to my OnlyFans. And I was joking.
Put the link, bro.
I can tell you how to get a Grammy. I'm just joking. Oh.
So getting signed, is it everything that you thought it would be?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. It you know, my outlook on life is very optimistic. You know what I'm saying? I'm very proud of the things that I've achieved, and I'm also like grateful, for the little things, you know what I'm saying? So doing something like getting signed and being in some of those rooms and doing those things, I'm like very grateful. A lot of people would have a sour taste in their mouth, I'm sure. I'm just not that guy. It's like, okay, like, my deal's over. I got into it expecting to get fucked. The fact that I didn't, and I got fucked a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that I didn't was like amazing, you know what I'm saying? So at least I got to learn a bunch of shit, but I'm grateful for the things that I've done. Being signed was like a very good life-changing experience. I was like, there's things that I did that I would have never been able to do not being signed.
Wow, that's amazing, dude. So like so can everybody get signed? Like, can everybody get signed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I can get signed, anybody can get signed. Yeah. I'm not no part of no like Illuminati or anything like that. Yeah. Like, I wasn't born into shit. You know what I mean? Like,
we have some speculators here.
But you know what I mean? Like, I got signed. Like, the way it happened was we put a song out. I made a beat right here, like, and there was a table right here, and I made this beat on my MPC. It was called Que Le Pasa. It was the first time I ever made a house song, and it was a chopped up sample on the MPC. I made a house beat on the MPC, and then I from there I put it into my computer and fucked with it or whatever. But like from the time that I made it to the time that it was out was probably 20 days. You know what I mean? That's and so crazy. It came out. And then me and it started getting traction because it was a good song and I got like on a compilation or whatever. But then we made a video to it and the video like blew up on YouTube. This is like early YouTube. Like, I don't even think Spotify was around. I don't even know. Like, but this is in like 2010.
Like Wild West days of YouTube.
Yeah. And so it started going. Like that morning, my phone was like blowing up. My emails, everything was just like, yo, this song is going crazy.
Crazy, man.
And so then I got signed by this guy, Daniel Haxman, out in Germany. He had like a label that was putting out electronic music, and we redid the sample that was on there, and then re-released it with a bunch of remixes and stuff like that. And we put it out, you know what I'm saying? And then it blew up. Like, and fucking like 2 weeks later, Universal calls and they're looking to sign me and want to do all this shit. And so I was just like, let's do it. And so then we re-released it again on Universal, and it really took off. That song was like a career-changing song for me.
Were you making songs like that before that one?
That was the first house song that I had ever really made. I mean, I tried making stuff, but not nothing like that. And that was the first one I had put out for sure.
With the accordion.
It had an accordion sample. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I actually got that master back. That's the only one of those from the songs that I've with Universal. That's the only one that I own the master for.
So 2 months later, after that, all that, you got signed to Universal.
Probably about 2 or 3 months. Yeah, it was very quick. Like. So fast.
That's blessed.
And then
man.
going through all that, was just like, it was just wild. It was a brands deal. So like it was a label based around a brand that Pepsi was like starting, a label.
Wow.
So they got me all these shows with different artists and at art galleries and at fucking festivals and all kinds of things that they were just trying to get the music out, you know what I mean? And that's the way you do it, is by playing at all these places. And it worked.
Would you say right place at the right time?
Yeah, I mean, it was the right place. I put out the song and it didn't live in my hard drive. If I would have put out that song 2 months later, like who knows what would have happened, you know what I mean? Wow, or if I would be sitting on it right now still, you know what I'm saying?
It's to be on the hard drive.
Yeah, man, I've still got songs on the hard drive from back then.
That's amazing, dude. Uh-huh. That's so amazing. Wow. And so ever since that type of music, with having the sample on there, you just kept on making more money off of that style.
Yeah, man. I even partnered with a label that has a bunch of samples that I've sampled before, and I'm able to just go through all their stuff and just kind of sample whatever I want.
Yeah. So are you still a vinyl junkie?
Oh yeah. I just picked up a whole giant, I just got 10,000 records.
Keep giving you records.
Yeah. I literally just got 10,000 records on Sunday.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're sorting through them right now, but there's some crazy stuff in there. All these like bootleg, like remixes and stuff like that nobody's ever that they'll never see the light of day because there's such bootleg with other people's music on them and stuff like that they're like really cool. So we got a lot of them. Shout out to DJ Dragon, man. R.I.P.
Oh, yeah. So it was his collection before.
It was his collection, and we had, originally we had talked about me getting it when he was alive because he knew that I collected records and he knew how I take care of him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so he was always like, "Yo, just come get him." He would send me videos of his garage and shit like that.
Enticing you.
Yeah, and he was like, "Come get him, man, and come get him." And when he passed, I didn't, dude. He passed a few years ago. I didn't want to put no pressure on his family or nothing like that, so I just kind of left it alone, And his wife hit me up and she was like, "Hey, are you interested in taking the records?" And I was all, "Yeah." I didn't even mention the fact that he had.
He must have been telling her like, "Hey,
something, right? Like, yo, you need to hit the dust." Put it in his will. Hey, give it to Dusty. You know what I mean? But I'm sure she kept. I'm sure she kept a couple of sets, and she kept his turntables, and he won some gold turntables one time that I was there. Crazy. And so she's, I'm sure she kept some mementos, some really good ones.
Right on. So do you know what kind you're going to be playing there in the bar?
I mean, it's going to be a chill spot. So definitely like some lo-fi, some like hip hop remixes and like old school stuff. Just music on vinyl. I don't really have I'm not going to say that we're going to just play jazz there or none of that shit. Yeah. It's a listening bar.
Read the crowd.
And read the crowd. If anybody wants to hear hip hop, well, dude, let's play some hip hop, or if the DJ that I brought down that weekend is going to play hip hop, well then, dude, that's what he's going to be there for. And the crowd needs to expect it,
That's what's up, man.
But I also don't want it to be like a pretentious thing where it's like, oh, these guys are
pretentious.
Yeah. Pretentious. What just like kind of like snooty, okay. Kind of like stuck up. We just want it to be like an open door, just the way the bodega is. You know what I mean? Like anybody can come in here, even if you're a nerd, especially if you're a nerd.
Yeah. So we hear you're a big nerd on Star Wars. Is that true?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely a Star Wars nerd.
You had the Sombrero Galaxy.
I had a whole album, basically Cholo Mandalorian. But yeah, man, I love Star Wars. Me and my wife, I don't know, she likes it more than I do now.
Cool.
But we've gone to Disney multiple times to go see, Batu, the planet.
Oh, that's there in Disneyland?
Yeah. Batu East and Batu West.
Oh, shit, that's nice.
But I hope to experience more of it. Star Wars is crazy. It's kind of like a cult. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like whenever I see people, I have like a Mandalorian sticker on my truck.
Yeah.
And it's like black, and it's like a black sticker. So it's pretty funny. Like when people see it, they're like, I'm all like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. All right, Tip's hat. This is definitely
I'm part of the culture.
Yeah, I'm cool. Finally, someone likes me.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, no.
Have you always been into it, or?
Yeah, man. Ever since I was a kid, I always loved sci-fi. I've always loved horror movies and cartoons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just cool, and I like Star Wars a lot. I never really got into Star Trek too much. I like Star Wars because it was kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? And
like some humor added.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. And like Star Trek to me was a little too serious, and Dune was like way too serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's so fire. Yeah, it's so fire.
The new Dune.
Yeah, but I mean, I've rewatched everything on Star Wars 100 times.
So
but
are you
Dune,
Jedi
I've only
Republic?
seen it once. I'm definitely a rebel. Yeah, rebel all day.
All day.
All day.
So rebel. Okay.
I'm either I lean towards rebel, but I'm definitely I pledge my allegiance to no one.
Oh. Wow. So that's like in a bit like not, I guess, neutral. That's
I'm neutral. Like
Yeah, like neutral. Not the. So what is it? I don't really follow it that much. So Jedi and Sith, is that what we're talking about?
I mean, it's like light, dark side.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, like Rebels and Republic. are like, you know, it's like the people versus the government, you know what I mean? And
so fighting against the government or the empire that's like trying to take over,
overthrow, but in the
okay.
name of the government, saying that it's all good. Like, we're just trying to make everything good, but if you don't do what we say, we're gonna kill you.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's why everything's fucked. So similar to what's going on in real life.
Oh, I know, dude. Wow. I wonder if he, the actual writer had that in mind.
Yes.
You think so?
Of course. Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
All those guys are big, like, political, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's foreshadowing, you know what I'm saying? So
do you get into that? I got to bring balance to the force, man.
that's what I do.
Yes, what's up, bro? Anthony Diaz, bro. He's always on here. He's got a podcast.
Nice.
50 States of Terror. He talks about like animals or like the chupacabra.
Oh, wow.
In Texas, but he does it like in all different 50 states.
Right on.
So he finds one. So he's definitely nerds
cool.
out in here as well.
Right on.
Appreciate it. All right, bro. Thanks a lot. Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. So Star Wars, you're into Star Wars? Yeah. So and you mentioned that you just recently started vacationing, bro.
Yeah, I've never okay, so this is kind of a sad story.
Oh,
but I've never gone on vacation before ever in my life. And I went to Disney World when my dad had his accident. We moved to Miami for like a couple of years to like, he went to like a spinal cord hospital over there. And when we went over there, we went to Disney World like on the move over there. And that was like in like 88 or something, 89.
Yeah.
And like I've never went on vacation. I've traveled everywhere. I've gone fucking everywhere. And I've like done all kinds of crazy shit, but I've never really chilled in a spot like for nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And to us, like going on vacation was like, you know, my dad was a quadriplegic, so we didn't really do vacations and stuff like that when I was a kid. But we would just, you know, go to the ranch or go relax, or they would take us to, you know, not very far, San Antonio, Houston, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But now, you know, I was like, let's go. Let's start doing stuff. And, you know, I had a dog for a long time that was like 15. And, you know, when you're a dog person and you get into those last couple of years of the dog's life, like, you're just like, I'm not going to go anywhere. I just want to be at home with a dog. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that basically was our last year, was like, just like taking care of our dog. And then finally, when she passed away, like the next week, we bought a ticket to Disneyland. And we're like, we're going to Star Wars.
We're going, bro. Wow, dude, that's amazing.
You know what I mean? And so, and it was just kind of like, you know, kind of when my mom died, my dad died, when people die in your life, you kind of like realize like all these things that you should be doing, you know what I mean? And so it was just like, you know what, like I have a lot of stuff going on at home, but like I need like 3 days to like just be like just chill and not do nothing. And it's important. I didn't know how important that was until I did it. And then also just like taking breaks is like very important. I learned this from Justin Ganan and John, the guys that built OK Hi-Fi. They're amazing artists and amazing designers, but they every night they would, you know, like when we were working on Hi-Fi, they were busy all day. I'd hear them in the morning, like getting in there, cutting and all this kind of stuff and doing all these things. And then at night they would clean everything up. And then they would sit there and have a beer for like 2 or 3 hours. And I was like, don't y'all want to go home? Or like, y'all are here. Like, why aren't y'all getting to work or something? And they're like, and it was like, dude, they were working. Like they would sit there and we would talk about, okay, well, tomorrow, you know, we're going to make this thing that's like, blah, blah. And everybody, he was using the space as he was building it and getting comfortable. Like it's so comfortable in there right now. Like if you go in there, it's like, man, this place feels like it's been here for like a long time. Wow. You know what I mean? But it's because those dudes have been to a lot of places and they've done a lot of things, and they went in there, and while they were building it, they took those important breaks and they like sat there and they were like, dude, this is, you know, and we would, dude, like come up with things working while you're taking a break, you know, but like taking those breaks is like very important. That's something that I had never really done. Is like I've lived here. I live upstairs and my studio is downstairs. So every single day is just like I'm downstairs.
So like hustling all the time.
All the
without even
time,
taking a
never
break.
turning it off. You know what I mean? That's one bad thing about living down here above the studio is like you never really get to turn it off. It's always like I'm always thinking about the next beat or whatever, you know? And so that's like important. That was an important thing that I learned from them is just like you got to take breaks, you know what I mean? And so take a break. And I took a break last year from November or from like I think after October was like my last gig, and then I just said fuck it, I'm not gonna play anymore until March.
Wow.
And so we took a long break, went on Disney World, Disneyland.
How did it work? How did it work for you?
It went pretty good. I like it. I will say though that I have like mad FOMO. Like I always want to like do stuff and like, you know, but that's part of my discipline is like not doing things that I want to do. You know what I mean? Like going out and like, you know what I mean? Like going out, especially here in Corpus. Like I never go anywhere. Like I go out every once in a while, like have a drink or whatever, but I want to do it a lot more, but I think that like, I don't know. I just don't do it. And like I like to just chill, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a homebody.
I'm I'm like the homiest homeboy there is.
Well, it's funny because you perform in front of a lot of people. You would think that you wouldn't be that way, you know?
I have very awkward and social anxiety. Not, you know, not by choice, but it's just like I'm either on or I'm totally off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like no in between. And
Crazy.
So when it hits, it hits.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, it makes me think in that podcast with Johnny Hotcakes that you used to go to Sound Warehouse and be there hours at a time and just read.
Yeah. I love doing things by myself. Even now, I go to eat all by myself all the time. I'm always like, go to Barnes & Noble and read now. And, you know, my wife works till nighttime. So, and my schedule is like pretty much all day, but like I try to work like all the way until then. And if she's going to be busy or if she's not home yet, I'll like find some time to like do something else, you know, go read or whatever.
It's amazing, dude.
I don't know. Just like, but it's not like, you know, I'm not like a bookworm or anything either.
Yeah, right.
I like to learn a lot of stuff.
No, it's almost like you got to keep your mind up.
Yeah.
Your intellectual level needs to stay up.
Yeah, man. I'm also getting old. I don't want my brain to like get all mushy. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Right on, man. Man, Dusty, this has been an awesome interview, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's been fun. It was a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be.
Nah.
I thought we were going to be here, like, you know, talking shit, getting some beers, partying.
No. So what do you think about this?
I like it. This is very good. I think it's important to cover a lot of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things that like it's like really therapeutic to talk about like things that you go through and stuff like that. Especially like when you say it out loud, it's like not as big of a deal as it is in your head, you know. And like I'm always like beating myself up in my head, but then when you talk about it, it's kind of like it's not such a bad idea, you know. It's not.
Yeah. So sorry, man. I say goodbye like several times.
All right, we're out of here. Hey, man, so you know what happened to
Like I know because I lived in like Tulsa for like a year. I went to school over there and lived out of town. And when I do stuff that I do here over there, like just simple stuff like cleaning or hustling or whatever, people are like more appreciative of it, as opposed to like if I'm here, they're like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Do you get that?
Well, I think it's all about who the people you put yourself around. You know what I mean? And I've definitely felt. And I've seen other peers like they're from here and they don't get the kind of love they get out of town. But the thing is that you only are out of town for one day. You know what I'm saying? So if you lived there, you would feel that same way. If I moved to LA and I keep telling everybody, oh man, everybody loves me in LA so much. It's so awesome. You know, it's not like how it is back home. 6 months into being there, I'm going to be like,
dude, go back home, right?
I need to go back home. And then when you go home, you're like, everybody loves you. And you're like, oh, it's so awesome. I need to go back. When you go back to LA, you're like, oh man, everybody loved me at home so much. You know, it's just, the grass is greener everywhere.
I got you. So how you look at it depends. It's
just all and it's whatever situation you're in. But yes, man. You know, I've definitely felt like that before. You know, that goes back to like how AB was saying. You know, it's his backyard. I mean, dude, I feel that, like those guys are pretty big time, you know what I'm saying? And for them, like a lot of people didn't, especially back in the day, they definitely weren't fucking with those guys. Like, like some of his bandmates, you know what I mean? They fuck with AB, but their bandmates was like, some of those guys were getting like fights and all kinds of shit. I'm not saying that they weren't starting shit either, because I know those guys personally. They start a lot of shit, but you know what I mean? It's just like, one bad thing that they say about you and it's over, especially in a town like Corpus,
Damn,
you know what I mean?
sucks,
So, but they had, those guys had a good run. I've had a good run. I think that like people have supported me in this town for whatever the fuck I want to do. And it's always something weird and it's always well, like recepted. And I'm like very grateful of that. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
amazing, dude. Congrats, man. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you, Anthony Diaz. Best show, best podcast. in town, man. Thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate that. Stay tuned for the next few, man. Well, you got anything else you want to share with us?
Man, that's it, dude. I've got, the bar coming next week. Hopefully everybody will come by and check it out. And, be on the lookout for new music.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. So that's what's in the future, man. Dust, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Sure.
Stay tuned, you guys, for the next few episodes. I don't really know what I got lined up, but I got some people coming on. Shout out to Maya back there for making this all look nice and doing the camera switching and all kinds of stuff. See you guys next time. Have a good one.